Hi everyone, Redneck Computer Geek here. So this video we're actually making about a month earlier than we usually do. This is our fall cleanup, walk around, talk video that we usually do, and it's about a month early. And the reason being is because with the mandates that are plaguing across this area here in the state of Maine because they're scared of the Delta going through, all of the prices on all the lawn tractors have plummeted. I've ended up pulling every single one of my ads off of Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and all of them because I'm watching machines that are $500 sitting on Marketplace for $250 for the last 2 weeks and not selling. Because of the new mandates, nobody wants to spend any money. Everybody's scared. Even though we still got almost 2.5 months left of mowing season here in the state of Maine. I mean, look. My grass I cut, come back here, I'll show you. I cut this grass here, all of that, I cut 2 days ago. And it all needs to be redone. And I missed this back corner for about a week now. Yeah. But doesn't matter how well the grass grows, if nobody's got any money, then nobody's spending money. So we're doing our fall cleanup regroup early this year. So we're doing the tear it down and fix everything that the Ranger really deserves. It's been beat to piss the last like 3 years. I have very rented mule driven this thing, including going through a year of me being homeless and incapable of doing my usual maintenance. And so it's got a laundry list I'm catching up on right now. Give me just a sec, I'll flip the camera. It might help if I take my case holder off so that you guys don't see a bunch of black screen when I flip it. Alright, here we go. So I just got the inspection done on it. I went in and I gave the guys a list as to what I needed to do on it. And they saw my list, went in, confirmed the fact that everything that I said was on my list was what needed to be done, and went from there. So I just got done doing all the front brakes. I ripped out lines and everything. Here's what my calipers and lines were looking like. And it turns out I only actually had one caliper working on the front, and the other caliper was kind of half working. One of them, the slide pin had rusted itself in the out position and wasn't even doing anything. The pads actually had like 1/8 of an inch of life still left in them. So we got brand spanking new pads on the front, brand spanking new brakes, calipers on the front, hoses on the front, and everything so that we can start off fresh. I love these tires without question. You guys have asked me about these. So there's that. And the size on these is 235/75/15 LTs. I love these. These get amazing grip, really doing well. Now, my reason for the truck facing this way is I'm about to start the purgatory of doing the very beat to snot, needing to be replaced springs. Yeah, there's some flat out gap there. Holy cow. So those need to get done. They are really, really bad. I still need to do a front control arm on this thing, but I haven't gotten there yet on ordering it. And the winch has always been run by connecting some cables over to the box over there. And at this point, what I'm going to do is take the winch while I've got everything available. And we're going to take this box out of here. This box was a learning experience. Don't ever use one of these boxes in the position that I have it in. All it does is just fill up with water. There's something about the way those boxes are designed. just driving along. It is fully protected. It's protected from that side. It's protected from this side. And the only way water can get in is to go up and over into it. It always has water in it. It's always frying electrical. It needs to go away. So what we're going to do is rip that whole box assembly thing out of there. That was a failed attempt to begin with. And wire the winch through the cab corner here into the back and set a toggle, just a giant 12-volt toggle switch to toggle the winch on and off. And the reason being is because that winch has a wireless controller. You can actually see the box right there shadowed. So we're going to get that fixed because we've been putting that off for like 3 years worth of just everything else. As soon as that's done, I want to figure this out and find out whether it's a waste of time or whether it's worth doing. And the other thing I want to do next month is get a really large tent put out here. The tents like I have over there are still available on Amazon. They're about $425, I think the last time I looked. It's a 12 by 20 with the sides and one end zips up, or maybe both ends zip up. No, it's one end zips up, the other one's a flat. So I'm thinking what we do is we come out here and maybe use the tree as a corner and coming out of this as a corner. Jesse and I want to expand the chicken area out into this because it's all stumps and it's unusable. And I don't want to pay somebody to bring in some surface loam and stuff in order to bring it up to par. So we're thinking that turns into more chicken pen. And then rebuilding the house next year. So maybe the tent can go right in here, maybe. As long as it doesn't come past this pole. I think I've got 20 feet there to work with. Now, a lot of you have asked if I would revive the hydro build. I'm actually debating reviving hydro mutter. I've got a bunch of extra transaxles and stuff as far as the hydros are concerned. So I'm debating a revival. The motor may or may not come back. I ended up having to pilfer some parts off of the motor, and then it sat for a while and a bunch of other stuff. And the Bug, as far as racing is concerned, I was going to revive him for the Unity drag race, but I don't think I'm going to go and make it. In fact, at this point, I'm positive I'm not going to make the race. So maybe we'll revive the Bug next year. But I've got so many machines that need to be stored. Like this machine mechanically is great, but it's got electrical gremlins, and so until I get all the electrical gremlins sorted... Oh, and the Obama gas decided to go and eat the gas line, and the only way to replace is to rip the whole entire top of the rear off, the tank off, and everything in order to be able to replace it. So yet again, it'll be a good mower to sell, but it won't be worth it until next year. I literally watched one of these, starting price, and in better condition than this one. Starting price, they listed it at $650. It was still up there this morning for $350 and had not sold. The Murray GT is still underneath there. I need to figure out the clicking transmission, and so we might haul that in as something to do next month, depending on cleanup. That actually has the correct transmission that would go in the Hydro Mutter build. So that might go into the Hydro Mutter. This actually has the correct chassis and transmission mounts for the drag racing Hydro that we're working on. This needs to get parted out and gone. Parted out and gone. Parted out and gone. Parted out and gone. And a fuzz. I know, you saw me with the camera, which means that you have to make sure that I will pet you and make you happy. Yeah, I know. Tell the people at home that you had to be the fuzz. So, we've accumulated a few transmissions. And as you can see, I now have another restock of MTD transmissions that I need to figure out something to do with them. A lot of you guys have discussed the idea of trying to figure out like one transmission in the front and one in the back and some sort of pivot unit type setup or something like that. And I don't know. Maybe we could come up with something. Haven't quite figured that out yet. There's another couple of different transmissions, some MSTs, some 5-speeds, some spicers, you know, just the usual. And need to revive the Ice Racer. I have not decided whether I'm going to revive it to try and race it this season or whether I'm going to build a different Ice Racer altogether. Maybe for the first race revive it, depending on where I'm at with the next build. This just would not sell. And I haven't decided what in the world to do with it. Let me flip the camera here. So let's have a serious talk about what it is I usually do most of the time. Most of the time, I do not flip as many tractors as I really honestly could if I wasn't shooting video for you guys. Most of the time, what I do is I'll get a machine like this one, and usually I'll do a tractor hunt video with you guys. I'll do, you know, getting it up and running. I'll make a list, I'll fix all the parts. If there's something that I need to fix on it that I think is worth doing a how-to for you guys to go and see and to share, and I think is going to go and make me some search hit income, then I do the how-to. And then what I do is I usually sell the machine for about $100 less than what most people in my area are selling. But I can do that because the initial tractor hunt video that I post usually recuperates me about $50 to $60 that I have into the machine. But if you have a machine like that Cub Cadet, where even though I did a how-to video with it, it wasn't a high search hit how-to video, and I did the tractor recovery video, I still have almost $200, $250 worth into that machine. And considering that there's two that are listed right now for $200 that haven't sold, I might as well just leave it and store it. Thus, the reason why we need a tent. Now, the tent at $400 is a bit of an investment, but if for that $400, next spring I can pull the machines out, they're not destroyed by ice and snow and branches landing on them and stuff like that, and I can then sell those machines for buku profit versus what I can this time of year, then it's worth it. But the problem is I got to play the long game. And if you're going to get into doing this, you've got to learn to play the long game. Alright, so let's flip this camera around again. So speaking of the long game, I have always wanted my junk pile for tractor parts and stuff to be right here. This is where I've always wanted it so that I can walk from my garage over here and have it all the way over in this corner. In fact, actually starting like behind where that hood is. So at an auction, off camera from what you guys saw from the auction, I bought a really tall set of industrial shelving. I think it was like 10 feet long by like 10 feet tall industrial shelving. And then I topped that off with ending up with those. They're actual metal pallets that are made for tractor implements that I picked up. So my goal is to take those, spin you back around slowly here so you don't get seasick, take those, put a line of them there, put the industrial shelving on it, so that I can take all of these mower decks and be able to sort these stupid mower decks so that they're off the ground, not rotting, and be able to stick them in shelving units along with other stuff. Yeah, there's my pile of Nobody Loves Me Murray parts. There's a hood there, there's a pan, another hood. I've got a GT hood over there along with an older orange style. And yeah, that's my opinion on Murrays. Those are probably going to the junkyard, depending on whether anybody from the drag racing or mud mower community says anything about wanting them. So there's the Hydro Mudder. We just got done putting a second tarp on top of this. So there's that in order to seal this up, because the top piece, let me cycle around to the inside. So we ended up getting about, slowly circle around, yeah, we got about a solid 10 months or so out of the tarp before it started to find a spot to rip out. So I'm hoping I saved it in time, because I don't see any further rip out marks. But see how the light is different here? I'm not sure what was going on with this, but the tarp was getting thinner there very rapidly. So we got that on, I think, in time. I've got these that have some plugs in them. But I think if I clean them up, I might be able to use them as rear tires on the Ice Racer build, or maybe on another build. I do have another build that is going to be coming up on this channel, but it needs to wait until the start of September. For those of you who know John, his birthday is in the start of September. There's your hint. And got a few other things here. Jessie is sorting through a bunch of stuff from moving out of where she was living. And I still have the stupid generator from the video. I haven't figured out what to do about it. It'll only run a 15 amp 110 circuit. The 220 is dead. So, and we did the video on whether these have a tapered shaft or a straight cut shaft. Turns out they have a tapered shaft, so I can't pull the motor to use it on any projects or anything. So there it sits. Perhaps if we have a couple of power outages or something, I might use it, but I don't know. I'll come up with something for it. What one of my friends suggested was that I should find an electric motor that is the biggest possible that this could run independently, and create a hybrid lawn tractor, so that this sat where the engine was supposed to be, with the electric motor sitting in the back running the rear. And then maybe reroute the belt for the deck to go under the machine to the front. I don't know, just one of those crazy ideas in the background. So I ended up with these the other day. I actually did not want this. I wanted this as far as being able to use it for a project. And the deal was that for $200, I had to take both machines, because that one needed to go, apparently. Supposedly it runs, and I haven't quite decided what to do with it, because it's a Vari-Drive. Now, right now, I have a excess of 5-speed spicers. And I was noticing this had the shift on the side, control over here, which actuates down inside. Right there, you can see it moves everything. So I was debating whether maybe we could put a 5-speed Spicer in the rear and leave the Vari-Drive in place driving a 5-speed, and maybe put a Nutbuster shifter in it and see what it does. A lot of people have asked me to do that as an experiment over the years, so I haven't decided on that idea. Now we got to get the truck done so that Van Hollen can get focused on. That is definitely high on the priority list. At this point, I need a third vehicle up and running, so Van Hollen has got to go and get on the road in some form. So that I will probably be working on and making you guys sick of hearing about Van Hollen next month. This month, the goal is to get the Ranger buttoned up, totally ready, no ifs, ands, or buts, bring on the snow. But the next month, that will be my entire goal, is working on that. So if you're not interested in Van Hollen, I'm sorry for the hell I'm about to put you through. This is in part out. That's why it's sitting here, is because there's no motor in it. The motor that was in this is the one that's in the Big Mod Dragster. And so this needs to just plain get parted out. It's not worth anything. It's got a 618 in it, which is just a glorified 314 hydro, and really not worth anything. Jesse's got the new tires on. These get way better grip than those stupid Wandas did. They were about $20 a pair more, if I remember right. I think it was about $20 a pair more. But these definitely get way better grip than the Wandas did. They are MASS FX tires, and they are 25-10-12s. On another episode of Getting Ready for Winter, that needs to go on to there. And my big old GT, once this is confirmed through a couple of snowstorms that this is going to work, will end up being probably my #1 thing. Well, I've also got this, which should fit on that machine there, I believe. So we'll probably end up attaching that. Main mud mower will end up with a reconstruction of the front end during this winter. I've got an idea for that I'd like to go and try. I'll bring you guys along for. And this is getting the rear end swapped out of it. So if you guys want to see me swapping the rear ends out of this big Cub, I'm going to take the spare machine that has a fractured frame and pull the rear end and see if it'll swap in this. If you guys want to see this, comment, I don't know, Big Cub rear. Yeah, I'm sure YouTube will love that as a comment. So Big Cub rear, if you want to go and see me swapping this. Making tons of progress inside the house, finishing the last of the cleaning. I'll end up bringing you guys along for that soon. This will end up as a project this winter, most likely. I have an idea for this that I'm 99% sure has never been done before. So we're going to try doing that. And the big mod pretty much is what it is. I really need to make a cross brace underneath because it twists the frame. I just haven't been feeling good. I haven't been doing so well in the massive humidity thing that's going on here in Maine. And so it is what it is. To be honest, I'm getting a little lightheaded just trying to babble at you guys for 25 minutes. So we'll be cutting this short soon. Oh, insulation. Holy cow. I don't know what the cost of insulation is your area. This is 24-inch wide R13 faced insulation. That one bale was $78 plus tax. I've never paid so much for insulation. I remember when those bales used to be like $25 a couple of years ago. But we need to get that done before winter. We've got the belt keepers going on now so that this is happy. We've got the new exhaust pipe so that that goes straight up. I did take into account a few video clips of me getting smoke in the face and cut it about 6 inches longer this time so that hopefully it'll come up and over my helmet. It's funny because if you slow motion some of the drag race clips, you can actually see the smoke drafting over the top of my helmet while I'm leaning forward. So we're at that point there. The mobility scooter kind of has ended up at a standstill because John's kind of lost interest in it, but I think if we just convert this over to regular go-kart turn-knuckle steering, I think that he will be back into finding it interesting again. The problem with this side-to-side steering is you practically are guaranteed to feel like you're going to fall off the thing. And the input onto going into this is too harsh for a universal joint. I've tried it already and it binds up. So the only way this is going to work is to actually make some sort of steering knuckle assembly right here that goes to this. We'll get to that soon. So there we go. Oh, you guys follow up. Shelving is in. I had a lot of you ask why it was that I bought 2 shelves if one was capable of holding everything that was there to begin with. The reason being is because I want one shelf that I can put incoming project stuff on. I want to be able to have a shelf that I can sit there, put a sticky note on it that says Hydro Mudder, or Stupid Cub Cadet, or Mud Wizard, or Dumb Ranger ate another part, or whatever. So that's the reason why it is I ended up buying out more shelving than I actually needed. But you always need more shelving, so that's an oxymoronic statement. There we go. This video is getting long at 28 minutes, so I'm going to shut up and let you guys enjoy your day. I'm not going to bother filming, fixing up the Ranger. It is what it is. I just need to get it done as fast as possible so that we can work on something a lot more fun. Have fun, guys. I'll see you in a couple of weeks with some new videos.